Hello.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
Hi, guys. Hey, Mar.
Bonjour, Anna.
Bonjour.
Hello,
Hello, Kathy.
Kathy. Byron.
Hey,
Hello.
Byron. Thank you.
Welcome, everybody.
So, what's happening? I like your little.
Well, thank you. I've
Very
got to
nice.
get, my warmer clothes out. It's quite cool in my basement. It's actually quite good, though, in the summer, but in the winter, not so much.
Not so much. Hello, Nella. Hey, Virginia. Hi, Jennifer. Angie Boston. Hey, June.
Welcome, everybody. Has it started getting cold for you in Spain?
Good morning. Yes, it has. It
Yeah.
has. But today wasn't that bad.
Well, this
Let's
morning,
rub it in, like the sun was shining, and I was like, oh, it's so great.
well, my son Ryan goes to school, leaves the house at 7 a.m. So he's leaving, and I said,
Ooh.
watch out so you don't hit any slippery spots." And
Yes, the
he
black
wasn't
eyes,
at the end of
yes.
the driveway that I saw him kind of like,
Also, I see folks have a lot of snow also. Finally catching the beginning of the Oh, Candice, thank you for joining us, everyone. Rachel, thanks for coming. Anna from UK.
there was a cute story coming out of the UK. Some travelers at a high altitude kind of resort bar restaurant got stuck for like 3 days, snowed in, and they're partying it up. They've all they were sleeping there, stuck there. It's a
Oh,
really
really?
cool
I
story.
haven't heard that.
Yeah.
I
Hello,
have not heard
Claudia.
that.
Welcome, everybody. So let's get started. Enough chit chat.
Oh, okay. The boss has spoken. Has
Let me
spoken.
start my camera. So I'm going first today.
Okay, so I'll do the dance. I want to do the dance.
You
It's
want to do the
okay.
dance?
Yes. All right, there you go.
So yeah,
Look
my
at this cute little thing. When she showed me earlier, I'm like, that's not a cookie. You just went to the store and you bought that thing.
yes. So here it is. So this is what you would maybe make as a little like
No,
gift.
this is actually live, folks. This is a fully live. We are here with you. So if you have a comment, Heather, it's live.
It is November 30th, 105.
Oh, it is not November 30th. Oh, and we have some technical issues. So
It's live. So I just want to quickly show you. So I did actually do a supply list. It's in the coffee shop. So the coffee shop, I did list a few individual classes. If you guys don't like the monthly on Patreon, some people prefer to buy as they go. So I have some Christmas tutorials that I listed there, and this cutter is there. And you can see, there's a cutter that's actually missing. There's a window. It's a little circle. I couldn't find it, but here's the set, and it's available in two sizes. And you can see here the roof. It's not even 10 centimeters. Is that 8 centimeters? No, 9 centimeters. The roof is nine
for
centimeters. So it's
nine
small.
centimeters, it's about one, two, three, 3.5, a little over 3.5 inches.
Yeah, it's small, but it's not small enough to be a rim, those rim little houses that people put on the rim of the cup. You know what I'm
Oh
talking about?
yes, I have those. Yes, no, that's not unless you have
Yes, it's too
a
big for that. But
unless you
but
have
it's a
a giant cup mug that
but
you
it's a
use.
cute gift size. So this is the
That's
cutter.
nice. Where did you get that? That looks very sturdy and good
They are.
quality.
They are nice cutters. This is how sweet is that? Her shop, she gets like
Is,
some
is
specialty
this the
sheep.
one from Spain? Because it's a similar
Well, she
similar.
orders, I think, from Spain to have her shapes made. So we're going to look at one of the things that maybe you guys saw a little while ago. I had ordered some textured mats
Yes, you
from
have.
from a shop, and that's also in the supply list. And I had gotten these rolling pins, and I had given you guys a little peek at that. Okay, so I did pre-record. Thanks, everybody. Hello, Shanna. So I did pre-record a little bit of the rolling part because obviously during a live stream, it's not really easy to be rolling the
Oh,
dough.
yes.
And I mean, there's a limit to what we can do. So here is the little wooden rolling pin. So you can see the rolling pin is quite short. It's not a long thing. And so these rolling pins are actually from a clay store. So I guess it's sized for that. So I had to make like a, 4-inch width of dough so that I could use my guides so that they wouldn't go too thin. And so that's the stone finish. And I'm just cutting my parts to get a stone finish on my little gingerbread house. But the stones were very size appropriate for the project. And if you see there, I take away the excess. I leave the actual cookies on the parchment paper because this is a jigsaw puzzle essentially. And so, hello, Anne. And so if I was to pick up the cookies, I could maybe, move them and they wouldn't fit. So I'm going to speak French briefly for Anna. Anna, si vous allez sur le site Coffee, il y a des liens là que vous pouvez télécharger gratuitement. Puis je fais une liste de toutes mes fournitures que j'utilise pendant le live stream. Sorry, guys. Back to English. This is the brick version, and this is the mat, and it's a lot easier to use for, a bigger thing. And again, I thought the bricks were, maybe big for the house, but still not, it's still kind of size appropriate. And they have a wood mat. So you guys check out all their mats. They have a wood one that is my all-time favorite.
Okay, where do they check it out? Is it in a coffee shop? You have a
yes.
Supply list? Okay, so in the supply list, guys, there is a link on the screen. The link on the screen, it's not clickable, but you can use it for the reference and type that in to the Google search or in your browser, and it will come up.
So you can see again, I'm removing the dough that I do not want, and I'm leaving the house completely stuck there. I will put it in the freezer, and I'm going to then remove it from the parchment paper once it's frozen so that my pieces remain perfect, so that when I put that sucker together. And so after you've got your pieces baked, inevitably stuff moves in the oven, even if you don't put a baking powder. A baking powder, of course it makes your cookies nice and fluffy, but the baking powder does cause a little bit of warping, right? And so you can use a microplane, which is a great gadget to have, not just to kind of fix your cookies, but for your spices or whatever. And so you can just use the microplane and make some small adjustments if needed. It does get very long if you're adjusting a lot, but it's just to tweak your fit, so that if you want to make sure that your seams are very perfect, take a couple of seconds and just kind of fix up your edges, So that's just another little step. So once you've got your pieces, and I've got the cookies here, I baked them a while ago, but I'll just show you quickly some of the cookies that I made with those textured mats from that ceramic store. I think it's called the ceramic store. And so this is kind of like a basket weave. And so these are chocolate cookies that I just put some white food color on. So here's the same brick, just painted. So you could make your gingerbread, let's say, it would be a similar finish. And then you could just come in, and I painted this with a sponge. And so with the sponge, if you guys watched me do the fondant, it doesn't go into the crevices. So you're just getting the raised surface part. Here's this one I really like if you make
I like that. Yes, that looks very neat.
For a large gingerbread house. This here is a fish scale. That could be great for mermaid tails. This is the wood one I was telling you guys about. Oh, I love this one if you were to do.
I like the wood grain a lot. Hello, Susan.
Hello. So this you could do a birdhouse, would be so pretty. This is a Wilton floral rolling pin, another super
pretty. That's very pretty.
And then what else do I have here? So this is the reptile, I think, kind of.
Sally needs a higher job with a higher pay, because I guess she's going to be buying all the rolling pins.
This one is kind of like that steel, that.
Yes, I think this would be for Father's Day if you're making the box, toolbox maybe.
And this could work for baskets.
So if you had to pick three, let's stick it out so we don't break anybody's bank. So if you had to pick three, which ones would you?
Well, these little wood ones, I did see them on AliExpress, and you could probably pay less, and they're not worth what I paid on this. They're not bad, but if you're rolling cookies and you need to produce, as you saw in this video here, they're finicky to use. They do the job. The dough does not stick. They make a wonderful impression. I'm talking about if you're rolling out 50 cookies, you might want to, commit a crime. So, so that's the only thing like that I didn't. So the mat is, if you look at their mat collection, it's much bigger. But like, for example, this one is one of those rolling pins, and I absolutely love this one for Easter. The small format, you could quickly get the basket weave, add a little bit of grass and some Easter eggs, and you'd have a really nice Easter cookie. So there, I wanted to show you guys that because I had unboxed that package a long time ago, and you guys were asking to see, what happened with that. So that's, often, just like you guys, we buy things with the best intentions, and next thing you know, we start off on a tangent. We end up,
Hi, Cynthia. Thanks for joining us.
And so here is the little house. And so for the stone, you don't really have to worry about a direction, but this one with the brick, you want to be kind of mindful because the sides are squares. So you want to be mindful that the brick is kind of going the same direction as the house if you end up doing that. And so when the house is assembled, you see here, you're left with, because a cookie is 1/4 inch, so you're left with a lot of steam. Normally if you'd make a big gingerbread house, this wouldn't be as significant. I find that it's not that pretty, for that.
Diana is asking, where did you mention? I'm sorry if I missed it. Did you actually mention where you got the rolling pins?
It's called the Ceramic Store, I believe, and it's in the shopping list. If you go on coffee, I did a supply list. It's with the little gingerbread house picture, and it's all there. You'll find the shopping links, okay? And so I'm working in blue icing because I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't prep white, so whatever. So it is what it is.
Thank you, Kelly.
I'm just adding, you see here, you can just add it quickly.
That's such a nice blue, I have to say.
So if you've never made a gingerbread house, this size is a great start because
it's absolutely fabulous start.
Yeah, you can kind of manage. It's not so big. So you grab the cookie and you can squish in your sides. And if your icing is the right consistency, it should stick no problem. Then you pick up the other one and then you can just kind of like squish it together. Now you will get oozing out, but you can just use a spatula or your finger and remove the excess like that, just like that. Don't worry about the oozing that happens on the inside. And then you just let that set up before moving on. And I don't hate the blue for you guys to be able to see, you see? So now
it doesn't matter. I like it.
Well, no, but I'm talking like for
they can see
aspect of it.
I mean, would you use the ivory to mimic the color of the cookie?
I made it white. I made it white, and you'll see in a second. So here you can see.
This is a sugar cookie, correct?
Yes, I primarily work in sugar cookie, even at Christmas.
Yes, so I just made a gingerbread house. I call it gingerbread house, but for my patrons, it's coming out tomorrow. It's a holiday house, and it's made with sugar cookie dough. Because for years, I was really like, I firmly believe that I cannot do it with gingerbread, but I did it with sugar cookie, and it worked.
Sure. So now this is the brick, and it is dry, and I'm able. So now I'm putting 2 fingers in it so that I can rotate it. And I've got super runny icing. Now, last year, if you watched the live streams last year, you would have seen me do a red version of this. And so it was all piped. So this is a faster version. And you can see I'm just brushing on the icing and it's hiding. You see that seam that I didn't really like? And so like that, just quickly, and you can rotate and you've got it on your fingers just because it's wet on the sides. And so you don't want to rest it down. And because it's so small, it's easy to maneuver in your hands. And you can really work quite quickly. And just get that thin layer of icing on all your sides. And this thin icing dries very quickly. When I say very, not 10 seconds, but 20 minutes it's dry.
Hello, Billie Jean.
So you
Thanks
see how,
everyone for joining us today. We are live. This is not a this is not a pre-recorded live. We are live. Hi, Victoria.
and you can see how nicely it cleans up that little, because of thickness of the cookie on these smaller gingerbread houses, you really see that edge, and it makes it look a little bit clunky. So this gives it a more kind of polished look. So there, and you can see the brick is not super defined. I think that the chocolate dough maybe reacted better to it, but I just wanted to show you guys kind of what it looked like. So now I'm just kind of maneuvering this onto a cookie sheet so that it can dry. All right. And in the video here, I had pre-recorded, and let's see, is it this? No. Did I pre-record that particular one to show you? No, I don't have that one to show you another one being painted. Okay, so now this one is painted and dry, and you can see the stone is a little bit, oh yes, Victoria, this is a great size. And also, this will get more eaten, I think. The other ones are so big. This is like,
Hello. So I love it. I like, oh, let's, okay.
And so here you can see it's quite, it's quite defined. It does give a nice effect. I find that it's like, it's, you can see it. The brick, I think that maybe.
I wonder if you could, like, let's say if there is excess oil on it, if you could like gently like wipe it off so to expose the bumpy areas.
Or the other option is you do the painting.
Yes.
And so now you can make your doors in royal icing transfers. That's when you pipe your icing on a piece of parchment paper, and then it dries, and then you'd be able to detach it and attach it to your little house. But right now I've got the house on its back. It's dry, and I'm just quickly adding my door. And this is the fun part. This is when you can kind of add the little personalities to your houses here. So I'm keeping the colors pretty classic. And there's my little quick door, and I'm looking for the sprinkles that I had pulled out. So I'm using sequins. So there's all kinds of different sprinkles on the market, as we're all aware. And this is actually just a flat, it's like a confetti sprinkle. So somebody had come out a while ago, coated the cake with the rainbow confetti sprinkles, and then painted it gold, and it looked like a sequin covered cake. I don't know if you guys ever saw that. Anyway, and so now they sell them gold, and so you can use that. And these are actually really easy on the teeth. They're not like the pearls. So that's that. And now, oh, I should have done it the other way, but I'll put a paper towel under it if my roof, I have to stick the roof, and I have to show you guys, but obviously the door has not
I see what you mean. Yes.
So I'm just going to show you guys. So now I'm adding that little bit of icing. Again, this should be in white or the brown, because the house is brown. So because we will have oozing, this will kind of smush out, okay? And so when you're putting two cookies like this together, you can see here, you see how I'm left with a gap. So ideally you're using the microplane here, and I'm going to get a paper towel just to collect the crumbs. And ideally I would have done this before putting the icing, but so I'm just sanding and bringing the edge here to a 45-degree angle, so that when I meet up at the top of that house, that the two cookies can meet, so that there is, a good place for them to attach, or else it'll just, cause a big gap at the top. It's just impossible for them to meet. And now there is like a flatness there for them to be able to connect.
This is a great gadget. Absolutely.
And it's not expensive.
It's not that expensive. I love it.
There's a lot of gadgets out there that are way more expensive than that thing, and it does a good job. All right, sometimes you've made cookies and the thing is they've moved so much that can save some projects. So now I'm just squishing everything together, and the base has had time to dry, so I can kind of like, you know, not, you don't want to be that rough, but I'm able to be a little bit, you know, because everything is dry. And now we're going to flip it back on the side. You can see the door had started sliding down because the door was not dry. And now you want to just kind of like take off your excess, and then you're going to let this set up a little bit. And I can see here, there's still a bit of a gap, but I'm going to be putting icing, and it still brought it a lot more together at the top there because I sanded it down. You can see here the seam, you can see how it fits nicer. Any questions?
No, well, yes, Heather, yes, you have definitely, if you want to, you need, the icing has to be still wet to wipe off some of the icing from the.
Yes, yes.
Hello,
here, I just want to show you this.
City. We are glad that you made it.
See, you can see inside the house there. You see? So it's like, it's if you want, you can put a bit of icing there, but it's not necessary. Like on this one, it's less visible. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I see, yeah.
So here you can see, I don't know if you can actually see now that it's bright, but I actually brushed on the color before I assembled, and you can see the joints a lot more, and it's less polished looking. So, you know, you want to think about that maybe if you'd rather not, you know, have that. And so I'm against, so I've decided that I'm not decorating all sides. You know, you always have to think about how many you're doing. If you're doing a lot, you want to simplify, you edit your designs. And so here I've got a small star tip. This is a PME tip, and I'm doing a circular motion around the door, like a garland around the door, okay? Like so, there. I did put this in the supply list. It's a 5. The numbers are not the same for PME as they are for Wilton and for Ateco. It's a different number system. And so you want to work, sprinkles tend to get away from you. If you want to add sprinkles, you want to do it while your thing is wet. And I did do it, I'll show you the video. And if you pour it, you see like all of this is sticky. And so you're going to get a lot of sprinkles. If you just want a few, but you see it gets like very heavy there in the area, depending on how much you want. And then the other thing that I did like, oh, this is bright there. I'm doing like 2 kind of like half like that, and then another one. And it's just a jiggly line, you see, to the center, and another. And it just kind of gives it a more kind of Christmas-ish, you know.
Yes, I do agree. And these are nonpareils. They are available everywhere now.
Yes, these are, I got these actually last year at Winners or TJ Maxx in the States. I've got them now everywhere right now, but they tend to have static with the
Would you say this is a fairly easy project? Sally's asking that.
Are you being facetious? Are you teasing? Yes, it is. I would say it's an easy project because really I haven't piped a lot. These are basic kind of lines, you know, as soon as you're using a star tip, and I mean, it's pretty forgiving, right? Yeah. Like, look, I didn't pipe.
Yes, I do agree.
It's pretty forgiving.
Yes, beautiful.
Maybe the microplane is going to be in your stocking. I highly recommend it.
Yes.
All right. So now before I do, so you don't have to do a base. Obviously, each project is how you want to do it. But I added candies. So you can take the house, and now I just stuck my finger in it. I felt it. So you see this? I'm
putting before you do it. Oh yeah, I was going to say, can you put some candy in it?
There.
I was just about to say, like, can you put some candy in it? I just bought some candies.
And then I'm just adding some icing to the seam there. Okay. And then this, so there's my icing, and then this is the base, and you want to make sure that you don't check your sizing. And so I'm taking the cookie all the way to the like back of the house so that I have more front yard. So do you understand? Like, so it's right.
The base is what cookie cutter is that for the base?
The base is by Whisked Away Cutters, and Tracy's
Oh.
shop is in on Etsy, and it's in the supply list.
Now this is a song, isn't it, Heather? This is a song. I bet it's a song. I think it's a song.
So there it is. So I somehow got icing there. All right.
We do have a question. This is Diana is asking, how long the joint of the house wall? I guess how long does it take to dry?
I would say like for the first kind of, I do an hour just to make sure that, you know, when you're handling it, it doesn't fall apart in your hands because you are jiggling it around quite a bit.
For the holiday, yeah, I do agree. Now the Valentine's Day is coming up. It'll be cute. Love Shack.
Yes.
And
So now I've got the sides, and ideally you would wait for this. Oh, I'm not kind of. So ideally you do wait, ideally, you know, in the real world, but we're live. And so I'm just here, I'm adding dots of icing, okay? And I tuck the end under, and then I kind of pull up like so. Okay, once you've done, you can leave it like that, or you can come in with a spatula and give it a little squish, and it adds, you see it, it's not stuck.
It's not, yeah, but that's normal because you just did it. Yes. So you have to wait a little.
So here, let's do the video because I did prepare for this because I knew this could potentially be an issue. So I'm adding my dots of the roof color, and again with the spatula, and you can just do the dots or do this. And you could do the roof with candy, you could do the roof in petal tip, you could do the roof just sanding sugar, coat the whole thing. Yes, exactly. Hide the evidence. Nobody knows. There's no hidden cameras in your kitchen. And so it's just a fast kind of way, but it is a lot of icing on that small cookie, but it is Christmas. The stuff is always kind of piled on, you know. And so I left the top bare because I wanted to add some snow. And then this is how you clean up the front edge. It's just, again, those same dots hold on the front of the house. So if you were making several, you could easily kind of do a production line, right? You lean them on one side, run through them, lean. But if you were doing a lot, I wouldn't do the spatula thing. Just do the dots. It's just as pretty. And you don't have to go back for a second movement. You can just run through, do your dots and layer.
I assume the your thumbnail are your sons, so
yes,
you have to make a bigger house, I guess, or maybe give them change.
Well, you can fold the bills and wrap them. And
you can fold the bills. Yeah, yes, fold them and yes.
And so
is this stiff icing you're using?
Yes, because the piping tip has teeth. This is a 364 open star tip. And so you need to have a certain thickness for the star lines to stay. And I think here's the snow. So again, I don't have, for whatever reason, my brain shut off. I didn't prepare my white, but I'm just hiding the cookie with this thick icing with a big round tip. It's a super big round tip, and you can use a tipless bag, just cut a big hole. And I'm just adding wonky thick icing all over the place, and then just a light coating of sanding sugar. And you can see it really like finishes off the edging. And I did add that to the top of the house as well. You can see there the top of the house had a little bit of candy here. Let me bring this one back in. So I added a row of snow to the top lighting. That, and then a little bit of candy, so you can see there.
The sugar you're using, it looks like it's the coarse sanding sugar, not
it is. It is.
Yeah,
again,
I caught my eye.
Sweet Tooth Fairy. She came out. I think I mentioned that a couple of lives ago. Sweet Tooth Fairy at Michael's came out with our holiday line, and her sugars are quite nice, I have to say, and they're similar to some of the Wilton products, but the Wiltons, their sizes are small. Like she came out with 2 sizes for Christmas, and there's some like really big bottles. So if you're making Christmas,
I'm so jealous. Don't even talk about that. So jealous. Like I want it all.
oui, Anna, c'est le même glaçage pour tout, c'est juste une épaisseur différente. Des fois, je mets de l'eau, fait qu'il est plus liquide. So that's it for my project. So you can, like I say, you make a production line and you could make several, and these are just cute little gifts. And ideally, you would wrap this in a small box or a gusset bag. You would have to find a gusset bag that's kind of wide enough to hold the base cookie. So when you're shopping, measure your base cookie. And yeah, so everything's in the supply list. I didn't put the bags, but you'll find everything else in that supply list in the coffee shop. That's it. So
Awesome.
you're up, Ken.
I'm up. Yes, I am up since 5. Okay. Oh, Dollar Tree has some gift boxes that would fit. Yes,
Yes.
Everybody's loving it. Very cute. I love them. Yes, I do agree. It's super cute. I love anything kind of 3D. Beautiful. All right, so I'm going to be decorating. You can see these cookies here. So I have a template for these along with my, I don't know if I have a picture in here. I do have a picture. So I've got templates for these in my coffee shop. You can check it out along with the winter doll and the Santa and Eiffel Tower centerpiece. That's just the Eiffel Tower part, not the tree and the snowflakes. Those are cutters. And 3D snowflake tree, that's a supply list. If you want to check it out, it's in my coffee shop. So today, guys, I'm going to the basics. And I think you will agree at the end that this is pretty, what I'm going to be doing, it's pretty simple and anyone can do it. So we're going to be doing wet on wet. Everything today I will be using wet on wet technique. And what wet on wet is basically means that we're going to use flat consistency icing. That is icing that is fluid enough to create a nice kind of smooth layer once it dries. And I'm going to be using 15-second consistency. If you are new to cookie decorating, or if you want to brush upon the consistency, you can check out my super detailed either YouTube video, or I have also the blog post if you are more of a picture learner with all the pictures and tips and tricks about different consistencies and how to use them in cookie decorating.
The recipe.
And also there's a recipe for my royal icing. Okay, so this first design, I actually have to say I did not come up with this first design, but I really liked it. I saw it somewhere years ago, or I don't know when, but I just remembered something along the lines of for this design. What I'm doing now, I'm just massaging my bags with their they started to separate. Icing started to separate. Okay, I don't know. Let me see if you can you see all right? Okay, is this better?
Mm-hmm.
So dark in here, I can barely see.
Oh, Kim, we hope you feel better.
Oh, what's the matter?
She's feeling icky.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just
it's icky time.
One day at a time.
Yeah.
So you see, I'm using a larger scribe here. This is a 2-in-1 tool. It just works faster if you need to quickly smooth and distribute the icing. I see a few air bubbles here.
Hi, Judy.
They're kind of annoying, but there's nothing you can do about them. Not much.
So if you guys are ever not sure about if it's live or pre-recorded, well, it's live when we're talking to you and we're spotting you in the comments. When it's pre-recorded, well, we're all by ourselves. So we can't talk to you. We wish we could, but that's kind of how you can tell. Oh, this is cool. Very modern.
You can see I'm piping the green lines onto the white and it's sinking in. So now I'm going to take I'm taking the, you can use a scribe or a toothpick or whatever you have on hand and then run it across like that. I'm going to give it a little shake because you see this line? I want it to heal. Okay. Now with red royal icing, I wanted some red in there, so I'm going to fill in these gaps with 3 dots for the berries.
Oh, do you? Ah, good to know.
Oh.
So
it gets interrupted by that, but okay, interesting.
I'm seeing a highway going up the mountain.
Okay. You're seeing a highway. Okay, excellent. What else do you guys see? I'm going to turn it this way. What else do you see? I don't know. All right, so this is the first design. All right, I'm going to put this aside. See, that was pretty fast. Now
Yes,
we're going
fast.
to do.
We need fast at Christmas.
Yes, now we're going to do.
Hi, Julie.
Let's do poinsettia. Who wants to do that? Red on red. That is really fun and really cute. Again, I'm using my white.
You see a tree, June?
Why are you thinking about the highway up the mountain? Do you really want to go up?
Well, it's like, that's kind of swirly.
Swirly, okay. Oh, you remember that one time?
Yes.
Dragon. What was it called?
Something like, I don't know.
Dragon tail. It's a dragon tail. It's a very, I don't know how many turns it has. I don't know. I can't remember. It was, I think, in hundreds maybe. So it's a famous dragon tail. Just look it up. It's in Tennessee or Smoky Mountains. I can't remember now exactly where. And yes, it's quite a ride.
Kim saw a road too, she's saying. Maybe it's a Canadian thing.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's
Hi,
good.
Joseph.
Hi, Joseph.
Watch out for switchbacks. Not sure what a switchback is. A snake? I held back. I did kind of see a snake, but I didn't feel it was very Christmassy.
Oh, you saw the snake.
Sue, if you could write Han on in the messenger directly, she will get back to her on Instagram. She will for sure contact you. But in the comments here, I don't know, are you watching on her Facebook page so she can find you? Because the messages scroll very fast. And so sometimes they're hard to find. But if you write her on Instagram, she will for sure address your issue. And do you add white when you're coloring your icing?
Sometimes I do, yes. Now I'm going 2, 3, 4. So I'm aiming for 5 petals.
So Billie Jean, are you asking because you find that your icing is a little bit yellowish? Because that's, the differences with regards to that is usually your sugar. And so maybe in your neck of the woods, your ingredients are slightly different. And so maybe you do have to add some white food gel. But here, for me, I don't, and Han doesn't. It depends often on your ingredients. Yes. Heather's saying she lives by the dragon tail.
Oh, really? Wow. Well, yeah, we went there. We went by. Twice we did. Once with you and once without you. You actually fell asleep.
You put me in a car, I'm sleeping.
You actually fell asleep. It
That's
was amazing. It was amazing. I was
great,
a little
Susan.
like dizzy, but it was amazing.
Susan's watching us with her granddaughter the
Oh,
other day.
that is awesome. Thank you.
Hello, Jeeper.
So
Hello.
now I'm using yellow and I'm going to make the centers.
Targets. Oh, yeah. June was seeing targets before you added your swirls.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Target. I missed target.
Thanks, Pat. 318 curves in 11 miles. The
Yes.
dragon tail.
Yes. It was fantastic. I did not like. There is actually a tree of. I mean, it was quite horrifying. I guess the tree of fallen.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Heather's saying there's another place called the Switchbacks, and it has a hairpin
Oh.
curve.
Okay. I'm gonna have to make sure my husband doesn't watch this because he immediately would like to go there. So now I'm going to add some green dots, and then with a scribe, I'll just pull them to make them look like they will look like little hearts, but this is just to break up the color a little bit, to add some color. I mean,
Yes, maybe. Yes, you're right. It wasn't a hill. It was a mountain. Kathleen's liking your poinsettias.
thank you.
That's great.
And this is applicable to any shape, as you know, not just this shape, but um, that's what I'm doing today. Now I'm going to, okay, I'll take another one.
Hey, Trisha. Nice to see you.
Hi, Trisha. How are you? All right, so now I'm going to do another one, and this is going to be also white. We'll do some reefs, okay? Again, wet on wet.
This is like, if you're not, you haven't really been decorating a lot, this is probably the most forgiving. If you want to have a little decorating party with your family and friends, you make some fluid icing and you can kind of, play with, kind of experiment how it is when you make a line and how, when you run a needle through it. So it's a great.
Yes, it's really fun when you do that.
Yeah. And then the ones you don't like, you eat them and nobody will see them.
Yes.
Destroy the evidence. Kathleen saw pepperoni pizza with your red dots. I guess that's not wrong.
That's not wrong at all. I'm a little hungry now, actually.
Deb's getting ready to do 12 dozen cookies.
12 dozen cookies. Good luck.
That's a big project. I hope they're not too complicated.
Okay, so now I'm going to start doing the reefs.
Annie's page is Hanielas. Hold on, I'm going to put the name on the screen.
It's in the banners, darling.
Oh, it's at the bottom there, but here, let me. If I remove this, no, it says Hanielas hands. I had put your web page. Oh, here. If you go on her web page, she has all her social links there. So that's her blog. And there you'll find all her recipes. You'll find ton of tutorials, but she Han has very good recipes. Some people post recipes and don't test them, and they just you waste your ingredients. Han tests everything, makes them multiple times. She wants to make sure that it works for you, so she's posting stuff that's been put through the mill before she makes it public to you guys.
So I'm using two. I think you did this as well, using two greens. I'm not really worried about, like, you can put it in pipe it in a green, darker green, but you can also just do some around. Now this one is a little more involved because you have to pipe all these dots. But once you do, you just take your scribe and you run it through.
Very nice. Joseph, I don't believe we have ever met, so I can't share the story.
And between each time, like, I'm running, well, yeah, you don't have to really run. I'm cleaning it into a towel, but
So Han has her supplies listed in an Amazon store. So you can go on Google, do Haniela's Amazon store, and it'll take you to that. And if maybe you're international, because that's American links, you can maybe research the product from, you know, the like that information.
Yes. Now I'm using red. This is also 15 second, and I'm going on the inside, outside, inside, outside.
Thank you, Kathleen.
And I feel like we need one more wreath at the top. Do you think? I mean, this is not, like I said, it doesn't have to be. I'm just gonna add one more.
Her shopping list, Kim is saying, is also at her Amazon store, is also on her blog. Yes, Han's recipes are very good. Another recipe that I highly recommend on Han's blog, if you've seen me do some buttercream cookies this year, I did a few, and I use her soft rolled sour, it's got sour cream in it, and it's a very nice dough. It's more, I want to compare it to a whoopie pie.
Yes.
But you use a cookie cutter and they hold their shape surprisingly well. They get fluffy high, but they don't really, like they do move. Obviously, it's like a cake-ish, but they are nice for buttercream. It's a very nice kind of bite when you bite into the soft buttercream into the super soft cookie.
So now I'm just adding more red around the leaf. So I pipe the dot and I pull the dot into
A little tear.
a little tear there.
So the cookie cutters, the supply lists, we each have a coffee shop. So if you see there's moving at the bottom of the page. Here, let me find a bigger one for you guys to see. So here is my coffee shop. Han has a coffee shop as well, and that's where we load the digital kind of stuff that we share with you guys. So the supply lists are there for the daily projects.
So now I'm going to do actually 2 shades of green. So I'm starting with this, well, not green, sorry. I'm going to be doing green and white. So I'm just going to create kind of like I would say ombre base. Oops, I need to go all the way here. I'm using the wrong green, yes I am, of course I am. So I need to use the lighter shade, sorry.
Kathleen also likes your recipes, Han.
Thank you.
Well, hello, Snail Guts. Nice of you to join us.
Hi, snail guts. Okay, now I'm adding white at the top, and then we're gonna come in with a palette knife.
Oh, yes. Well, yes, we met on the live streams.
So I'm using a palette knife. I'm gonna marble it together a little bit. Now,
So,
by accident, I used dark green on the bottom, yes?
if Snail Guts doesn't have baking soda, can they use don't have baking powder, can they use baking soda? Can they switch
No,
those?
it's not. It's really not the same. Baking soda and baking powder, they are not the same. If you don't have baking powder, then I would just Now I can't remember how it is. If the baking soda is actually I can't remember now. Baking soda is actually baking powder with cream of tartar, or baking powder is baking soda with cream of tartar. I knew all the things, but I can't. I forget. They are not. You can't really. Yes, you need to get baking powder. Should be easily found.
Yeah. I mean, if you want your recipe to work and you don't want to waste your ingredients, maybe purchase the baking powder. It's not an expensive ingredient, and you can get them in fairly small. You don't have to get a huge container of it. If you have a bulk store in your area, you can even buy it just like a small amount if you just need a little bit.
Sometimes I don't know where you are located. I mean, here in Europe, it's interesting. They oftentimes you'll find baking powder in pouches. Now I'm using dark green, and we're going to make. Can you tell me what I'm going to make, folks?
Some leaves?
And what kind of leaves?
Powder has soda in it.
Again, baking powder has soda in it, so baking powder is baking soda and cream of tartar. I forget. I forget. I'm terrible. I need to brush up on my knowledge about these two agents. Okay, so now we're making these are going to be
So they have the baking powder, but no baking soda. They want to switch the other way. I mean, really, if a recipe has got certain ingredients, ideally you're using what, and especially like if it's something that you can get, maybe get it. I understand sometimes maybe you don't have like access to certain fruits or certain, like even powdered sugar sometimes is hard. But I think baking soda and baking powder are pretty standard internationally. Oh, holly leaves. Very nice. June guessed it.
Oh, it wasn't
Here.
so clear what this was? Okay, this
Mead is saying baking powder has
acid already. If you use baking soda instead, you need sort of acid like buttermilk. This is to activate. Okay. This is to avoid the metal taste. No, I think this is to avoid metal taste. To get when you use baking soda, like in banana bread, a lot of times there is like this metal taste and acid. But acid doesn't have to be lemon juice. Also, brown sugar has acid. Coffee has acid. Like yeah. Never mind. So this is another design, and now we're going to do last design. This is like, I guess this last one is probably the most popular, and I'm sure you've seen it a lot. It's basically just marbling.
Thanks. Glad you're joining us today. I've never seen you watching, but we're on every Tuesday and Friday at 1.
Oh, thank you, Joseph. So you could start with any color as your base, but I figured we're doing tree shape, so I'm gonna be doing green. And then I also have 3 different shades of green, and I'm basically going to use all the colors I used to make these marble cookies, okay? So it looks like this is the green I have the most of, so I'll use this as my base. And like I said, these designs are applicable to pretty much any shape. If you're doing a snow globe, you can decorate the bottom of the snow globe, the stand with any of these. You could, yes, anything. Snowflakes even, if you wanted to.
Hello, Jen. We have quite a few people that watch from South Africa. I'm always a little bit surprised. I gotta say, when I see these international viewers, it's kind of crazy.
Yes, well, it's the beauty of internet. 30 years ago, this wouldn't be, we would be like, what? No, it's not possible, right?
Well, glad you enjoy it. No, we're not crying, Joseph. Maybe my voice cracked, but I'm okay. Well, we're glad that we can help you guys. I mean, we try our best to share our knowledge. Sometimes it's not easy to share the techniques in a video, right? It's a little bit, sometimes you want to hands-on be able to address like, the consistency, like with, being right there, but we do our best with the video.
So this is I think you did something like this. Didn't you do a tree like this?
I did. So Han is in Spain and I am in Quebec, Canada.
Yes.
Hello. Nalheli. I don't know if I said that right.
White now. I'm going to use white, but not between each line. I'm going up 1.
I'm seeing that design that you're doing before you even touch it, that would be really nice on an ugly sweater cookie.
Yes, it would. Oh yeah, ugly sweater cookies. Where's the one at the bottom? Now, as always, make sure that this is all same consistency. So we're going to clean up the edge. And then I'm gonna go in the center here. I'm gonna start in the center. I have a paper towel by hand on hand so you can wipe the tip. So I'm starting in the center. I'm just dragging the tip of the tool through the icing. And look, it's creating this beautiful, I'm sure you've seen this many times, but it never gets old. Now I'm gonna go the other way.
I guess that's true, Heather.
What's that?
Saying we don't only have international viewers, we have international presenters.
Yes, yes, we do. Yes, that is true. I haven't thought of that.
We don't see ourselves as international. Thank you so much.
World is such a small place. So this is how, I mean, seriously, this was so easy. Sally, you with me? This was very easy. Well, Judy, I was 20 years in the United States, but we just recently moved to Spain. So Spain is very new to me, and I speak literally no Spanish.
Yeah, that's it.
Very, very, very bad. So
And the
here are
Caribbean. So
here are
Nafisa is in Tanzania, Han, and then
wow.
Diana in
Hello.
the Caribbean.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, so here are the designs we did using basically just green, red, yellow, and white. And I only used the yellow on here, but we could have added yellow on some other designs as well. So I used basically 3 food colors. Okay, white we are not counting that because it's not color. So yes, here are some simple designs, guys. You can try at home. It's all wet on wet. No need to wait for the icing to crust, dry, or you hear us. Ah, hello, Jan.
So
Thank
Hen
you.
is bilingual, but her other language is.
Oh,
Is
let's
it,
see. Let's see.
is it Slovaki?
Oh, very good. Slovak, yes.
So she speaks English and Slovaki, and she thinks that she maybe speaks a little French, but she doesn't.
Bonjour. Je suis there, right? Or well, I don't know. I took French, but for 4 years, but unfortunately, and then in States I also took some classes, but
The highway tree, yes. I think my favorite is.
I think that I'm going to put a common title, Highway Tree. Maybe
I
we'll
like
get
the Holly one, I have
good,
to
good
say.
traction on Facebook and YouTube. Highway Tree. You like the Holly one? Yeah. Which one is your favorite, guys? Yes. Highway tree. I like that. So I think that's a good highway tree. Okay, maybe I can do some tire tracks. I do see it. I do see it. I think it's my fault because I think the original design is only with 2 lines, but I felt like I need 3 lines. So that's it.
See, you're not the only one. Jeanette is in France trying
Friends,
to learn.
friends. Do they have good powdered sugar in France, Jeanette? I'm trying to find out if they have a solid quality. I just call it a dragon tail cookie. I like that. Okay, well this is I did unexpected
Well, today
turn.
was fun. Thanks to everybody for joining us and
Thank you so much.
visiting with us and spending the time with us. We realized you could do just about anything other than this, so we appreciate your time and giving us you always make us smile. Hello, Claudia.
Hello, Poland. Oh, it's really hard to find a good sugar. Yes, I can imagine. Yes, the yellow inside. Now you got me thinking. So this, if I made this yellow and then the dark green would be in black, it would definitely be a highway.
That's it. And everybody needs a highway cookie. I mean, seriously.
Yes, everybody does. All right, guys. So we are going to thank you so much for joining us.
So we're wrapping it up. So we're back on Friday. If you guys want some more cookies, we'll be back on Friday at 1. So hopefully you'll join us. And if you just joined us, you can watch the replay. If you missed anything you want to rewatch, you can watch the replay from previous weeks as well. The whole year if you want.
Whole year, yes.
So thanks, and we'll see you on Friday.
Bye, guys.
Bye.